Welcome to your reading. I'm going to tune in, read the field for you and see what comes through, what I can pick up on. So you can kick back and relax. We're going to be here for a while. So I've already prayed. I'm just going to shuffle maybe a few more times until I get an okay. Do a 6 card spread. I got the Fool, 5 of Cups, Ace of Pentacles, 9 of Wands, the Moon, Magician in reverse, 10 of Wands. Damn, I've thought this was only on Patreon. Well, only on Patreon, I mean. But here as well, it's definitely an energy of like going through it, basically, like really feeling burdened to some degree, stressed, at ends wits. Like, I've had enough. I just said I've had enough. It's very much tied to a new beginning though. Like, that's what you need to know. It's very much tied to like I posted this on Patreon, but I'm gonna share it on here as well. It said you can wait before I'm gonna probably butcher it, so let me just pull it up. It's verifying if I'm a human. Bloody cheek. One sec. Okay, yeah. You can look at the storm as punishment or as preparation. It's up to you. So this is exactly what it's coming down to, in the sense that like it looks like something is causing you it's like emotionally going through it, basically, because of course you can go through it financially, you can go through it physically, like on your health, but in this case it's burdens you're carrying on an emotional level. And the reason why I read this to you, you can see it as you can see the storm, you can look at the storm as punishment or as preparation, up to you, is because you're going through this emotional turmoil in a way that it's making space, like it's getting cleared out. And I was explaining this as well on Patreon as to how the one-on-one, those of you that book in for one-on-one sessions, how it works. Which I said though I wouldn't be explaining anymore, because those of you that feel like pulled to work with me one-on-one, you will just book in. Like, I've noticed that anyway. I've just been like, trying to break down the process as much as I can, but it's not really necessary. I'm just trying to, what I'm seeing is it's emotional turmoil. It's preparation for the next, I'm hearing for your becoming, but also for the next step. Like, you're not going to feel the way you're feeling right now if you really are going through it, and you're going through it like severely, to a degree where it really feels like, okay, this feels like too much for one person to handle. Just know it's temporary. You're not going to feel this way until, because that's what, when you're in the funk like you are, you at times you don't really see the end of the tunnel. You're just going to think or feel it's going to be this way forever. And for some of you, I'm hearing, well, it has been a long time. Like, some of you have been in exactly the space you are for years. And then of course we could speak of it's a clinical depression, or you're dealing with something else, but in this specific case, because that's something you may need to get looked at with a professional. In this specific case, it's temporary. like it's not, you're not gonna drag this on for too much longer. It looks like with the full, like you've already touched, or you've already had like sensations, or you've already tuned in and tapped into like a fresher energy, or like experiences that feel new, or you yourself feeling new, while going through the process you're going through. So this is where it differs to, like, I guess, like what's coming through, I feel like could help you decide if this really is your reading or not. Because this seems significant that you've already had glimpses of what is coming, or you've already had glimpses of a state, like an emotional state that, yeah, feels very different. I'm getting like very light. This feels very light when I tune into this. It feels a lot more lighter, more playful, taking risks, adventures, or craving adventures, like, again though, while simultaneously just having days where you full on crash and you just maybe purging, or you're crying, or you feel like you're extremely in a lot of pain, because emotional pain can also cause physical pain. Or this is also where self-harm can come in, when like it can feel like an outlet when you have physical pain match the emotional pain you're feeling. Also why some like getting tattoos. I'm not saying everyone or in every case, but there is like, this is a sensation that or like a phenomena that is known with human beings. Like emotional pain, yeah, it can not only cause physical pain, but you can also like, it can feel like relief or release when it matches, when physical pain matches the emotional pain that you're carrying or feeling. So a lot of this I'm getting is suppressed though. Like also now, like going a bit into the clinical depression, that's just like a sideline, I guess, message is a lot of it is because it's suppressed. Like you're not seeing a change because it's been suppressed, or you're using substances, or you numbing yourself in ways, or you even got medication that is like sort of numbing you out. And here again, like, please get everything checked with a healthcare, with a professional. You can, like, I guess, take what comes through here with a grain of salt and just see how it sits with you, or what new seeds sprout. Because yeah, whoever this reading is for, you're gonna hear things that just resonate or just make sense for you as well. With like moving forward with the Ace of Pentacles and Nine of Wands, it also looks like some of you are somewhat like the Ten of Wands, as the underlying energy is coming from feeling like you're stuck in a rut as well, or this is like a part of you, a part of the collective are feeling it this way. Less like clinical depression, more like, okay, I'm stuck in a fucking rut, like nothing's budging, nothing's moving, it's been the same the way it has been. And on top you have the Ace of Pentacles. It's very weird to see the cards out the way I do, because I can read like what's going on a deeper layer, so also what you may have been suppressing, because as you may know, and we have like beautiful examples of this with who was it, Miss Rapid Fire or something. Who was that actor? Not Rapid Fire, is that a song? The actor, one like a comedian, something with fire, Mrs. Doubtfire. What was this comedian? What was it called? Robin Williams. Yeah, what I'm getting to is, how the brightest personalities, like the biggest lights, can really be suffering like on the low. And this is as well what is adding to the burden in this case. What I'm seeing is that you may not have people checking on you, you may not have people asking you if they can help, or you may feel like you're not being cared for because nobody's asked. Like, it looks like there's a longer period, definitely, where you have been carrying a lot with you, that seemingly looks like you just had to carry it yourself. It wasn't really anyone you could lean on. It wasn't really anyone that, like, tried loading the bird, like tried taking some load off of you. You just had to carry it yourself. So for what I'm hearing, it made you very resilient. But what is adding to this, like, okay, this is like, I'm starting to feel like I'm stuck. I'm starting to feel like there's no movement, or even this feeling of like, is this ever gonna end? Is this like what my life is like for until the end of days? Is exactly because there's been a long period of you carrying the load. And what I'm hearing is that you're moving into a season where you're learning, or will be learning, or will have to relearn how to lean on other people. And that brings a lot of fears. And of course it will bring fears if in the past you have leaned on people, or even like, let's say, caretakers, or the first, people that was I just ate a rice. It was stuck in my hair. I had rice for dinner and it was stuck in my hair. It wasn't like there for days or some shit. I just had it like 5 minutes. I had dinner like 5 minutes ago. Anyway, sometimes I'm so used to being in front of the camera at this point, I swear. Anyways, I lost my thread now. It didn't even taste good. I totally lost my thread. Focused on my rice, and for some reason when I was focused on my rice, I heard Mulan, so that could have significance for someone. But anyways, I'm just gonna push through with the cards because I really don't remember where I was at. Maybe we'll come back. And we have the Moon card with the Magician in reverse. So basically, a lot of what is coming down to here is that there's been, or is, a lot within your subconscious world that has not been made conscious as of yet. So again, with the clinical depression, or the feeling like stuck in a rut, if you wouldn't call it a depression, like however you describe what you've been moving through, or the state that you've been in for some time, the reason why you've been in it for so long is because, it seems like you weren't consciously aware of what is causing you to feel the way that you feel. And of course that can be really frustrating if you don't get answers, or you don't go to you go to a doctor, or you go to a psychologist, and all they do is give you medication, and then you don't feel better on the medication, and it kind of numbs you out, and you just feel less, and not really, addressing the cause of what is making you feel the way you do, even though you may be in talk therapy and you talk about it and have an idea, or it's my childhood, or it's this, like, I'm getting, again, different streams for different people, but you all seem to share the same, root of not being in touch with your subconscious, it's like you haven't been able to access deeper layers of your own psyche and of your own being. And this is where tarot reading, especially the way I read, and why I do what I do, is exactly to help you with this, because I can help you access what is going on in the subconscious. I can help point out what you then hear it, and it's just like a penny drops. So not only, it's just one way you can do it with a trusted reader, but of course there's also ways of how you can, there's different ways you can access. You can, hypnosis is one, journaling. A lot of people access the subconscious through creating art. Just anything that kind of gets you out of your head, and you just it's just making me think of, in movies when you see little children come home with drawings, and they're dark ass drawings, they're drawing monsters or killing people and shit. That is them accessing their subconscious, and what maybe they saw a movie that was really gory, and the adults thought, they're too young, they they don't clock that shit, and then they're fucking drawing dark ass paintings because they're processing what they saw. So yeah, all of this, why this is so important that you do address it, or why it's important that you do find a way that you can access or become in touch with what is like underneath. Because again, like with the example Robin Williams, let's say you're showing up in the world and you're always smiling at people, you're always greeting, you're always kind, you're always happy, you're the one cracking jokes, and deep down when you go home and you close the door, you're just like, you're upset, you're tired, you just feel like the world is like crashing down on you. And this is where, you know, masking can be sort of dangerous for you, not only because no one knows what's going on, but also you yourself start believing what you are performing or what you are portraying in a way. Like, you may just not allow yourself, like, okay, you go home, you have like feelings come up that are uncomfortable, and instead of sitting with them, you try the fastest way to get rid of them. This is like what the normal human sort of does. Or you call up a friend, let's go get some drinks, you get tipsy, you get drunk, and then, you know, you kind of forgot that you're upset or that something is bothering you. And this is what, with time, of course, can really make you feel like you're stuck in a rut, because this may then be a repeat pattern. This is also why so many fucking love the weekend and can't wait for the weekend, because they can pop a few pills, you have music blasting, you can go out from Friday evening till Monday morning at one place, and then work starts again, so you're distracted in another way because you're just working, and in the evening, you know, like, this is how a lot of people live their lives. They don't stop and like address things. And then they're wondering why some people surpass them, why some people suddenly make it in a way that they didn't think was possible, or they change in a way that they can't wrap their head around, because how can a person change this much? It's the people that address things, that take the time to address things, they end up making big ass steps, which then can look like a gap to you that you find hard to fill. But the reason it's hard to fill is because you're not changing anything, you're not doing anything different, you're doing the same thing over and over again. And yeah, the substances is a big topic. Like, I wish it wasn't. I have also it's been coming through often on Patreon. It is a way that you just get stuck in a rut. You will not notice until years sometimes down the line. Because you don't realize how dependent you become dependent on something outside of yourself. It's literally like a crutch. You're walking around with a crutch. So anyway, yeah, it's the reason I'm talking about this, and I'm just hearing like drowning your sorrow, so I just touched on that. But yeah, let's see what exactly you need to know more about this, because another reason why this is coming through the way it is, and why it's like being the reason is because with the Magician in reverse, it looks like your energy, the energy that you do have like available to you, is not being used in a way where you're getting what you want. And of course that is then going to add to the 10 of Wands energy, where you just feel like burdened, and you feel like, yeah, I keep getting a sense, I really get the feeling of like, feeling like it's not going to change, feeling like something's like it's not going to change. And some find an escape through like falling in love, or even like limerence here is a topic as well, because it's like when you can romanticize a person and feed into fantasy, it's also a form of distraction. So that, like in this specific case, I'm getting, it's a little bit of like, it can feel really risky, because if it doesn't work out the way you want it to, it adds to the pain that you're already dealing with. Like it adds with the load, it adds on top of the load that you're already dealing with. So it's sort of like a vicious cycle. Like, yeah, you with the Knight of Wands, you may have like flings that feel really intense but burn out fast as well, and it just adds to like disappointment. It feels like disappointment, but not only disappointed, like not only in the love section, but there's like, yeah, there's a deep feeling around here of like, things will not change for me. And of course, if that's like a thought that you're entertaining, or that is like going round and round and round, that is gonna weigh really, really heavy on you. The Hanged Man. I'm just hearing, what do I do? So I'm trying to find out for you. The Sun in reverse. Yeah, but this is all what I've already read, and the World. Yeah, this is what I just read. I guess just confirming that I'm on the right track with like feeling sort of, yeah, in limbo, feeling stuck, not much is changing, feeling unhappy, unsatisfied with your life, with and then it being a vicious cycle. It's just going around and round, and day in, day out, and like your days or your weeks start looking the same, but it's not satisfactory. Like that's what it's coming down to. It's not, again, like the main issue is that your energy, the energy that you do have available, is not being used in a way that is bringing you what you want. And this, of course, is like an umbrella term for anywhere in life. It can be relationships, it can be work, it can be money, it can be hobbies, it can be passions. Like it's like an all-around feeling of like lackluster, and it just getting like drained and tired, like feeling drained and tired, about a deep, like tired with life, basically. So let's see if we can get some solutions. I mean, yeah, Patreon is a solution. I want to bang on about that until the end of my days if I have to, but that's literally one solution. But it's not for everyone, because you do have to be like ready to get to work, because cruising down into the underworld, into your subconscious world, is not, it's heavy. So it's not for everyone. Three of Wands and the Four of Swords. What you can do for yourself is really just start with sitting with your uncomfortable feelings. Like instead of going for a drink, or instead of distracting yourself, numbing it out, you really sit with it. And some can use Mary Jane for this. Some have really good experiences like using Mary Jane to actually sit with your feelings. Like it can even help you access it. So whether you use that as an intention, it's not something I really do recommend, because you can start using it as a crutch as well. But if it's like a one-off, or you know that you don't really get addicted to it, or it's not something that you have a hard time getting away from, then it's one way you can try. Like plant medicine in general, basically, is one way you can address this, or one angle you can go at it. But yeah, what it's coming down to is to find a way that you just sit with the discomfort, sit with the pain, sit with the disappointment when it does come up, or when you feel like, and this is where, yeah, you might just have to allow yourself to really, really feel shit for a while. And it's not the same though as feeling shit but it being suppressed. You know, that's a big difference, because that's what can exactly then, that's what can drag it out. Whereas when you sit with it, when it does come up, it's not so much, it's more like there's more fluidity to it, there's more movement to it. But this also can be something that needs to be trained again, because especially if you have like tendencies and you are really like, you just have a tendency of wishing your woes and worries away, it can take some time to really like basically learning to tune into your body again, or like learning to listen to your body, what your body is saying with its emotions, with its feelings. Like there's different layers to this, because if it's been suppressed for so long, it might not even show up on an emotional level anymore. It can show up as a physical symptom. So that's another way you can address it, though, like you go through the body. But yeah, that feels like a good starting point, because I don't know how much more like is really, I feel like if we go more, it will just can just become overwhelming. But like as a starting point, I'm getting for you to really like find a way to connect to your emotions and to your body again, because that's where there seems to be a disconnect, and it can be that you tend to disassociate as well. So that's what I'm getting as advice, to just start off and have a look at Patreon, have a look at my services, the one-on-one session, the one-on-one sessions, and see if it speaks to you, you know. Like that's literally what I'm here for. But yeah, as a starting point, that like it can be find a way, what do I do? You can also set it as an intention, you know. You don't need to get all the answers here. You can set it as an intention, and allow also your, you know, the divine spirit to show up for you. And that can come in ways that you stumble across a masseuse that does like deep fascia, you know, deep tissue trauma release, or you may just stumble across something that really speaks to you, and then it will be up to you whether you try it out or not. But at this point, like, what do you have to lose? And especially those of you that already have gone the route of like, you know, you have a healthcare practitioner that is guiding you. You've done psychotherapy, physiotherapy, you've done what the Western medical world can offer. You may really want to venture out and add to it, or, you know, try different avenues. And you can use it it doesn't have to be a substitute. I don't recommend that anyway. But you can have it as an addition and see what shifts, and see, you know, like, this is also what I learned in my years long of studying this, that everyone is really different. Everyone needs a bit of a different approach. Some like it really hands-on, and others like it more like subtle and more on an energetic level. You know, just like some are easily like, let's just operate this shit out, and others are like, no, hell no, I don't want to be opened up, like I want to do it differently. Like that's where it will be up to you to find out. But I'm really getting, as another just like friendly advice, it's just coming through again, so I'm going to repeat. Those of you that do have a tendency to really indulge in substances, where you know by now it's a crutch, it's not just a little bit of trying out, experimenting, like it's really become a dependency. Getting off of that, of course, is going to be extremely like uncomfortable in itself, because you will be flooded with exactly the emotions, like the what's been lingering in the subconscious will be more likely to come up for you to be even able to sit with it when you get off of said substances. Even if it's not, if like forever is too much to even think of, at least for like a long enough period that your system can work with you again in a way that is beneficial. You know, where the mind, body, spirit triad like can connect with each other again, and there's not like a cut off. So yeah, you have a few practical, like you've got some practical advice, and I will see you next time. I hope this helps whoever stumbles across this. I hope this does help you in some shape or form. I will be back very soon. Bye.